Welcome everyone to Weekly News and DW with major tidbits, and the topic for this video is
Marcos Trillanes sa buwatan. Nanggigigil at nanggagalaiti si former President Rodrigo Duterte nang dumating si former Senator Antonio Trillanes IV sa Quadcom hearing investigating his administration's war on drugs that killed an estimated 6 to 30,000 people. Inallege ni Trillanes na may koneksyon at nagpa-profit pa umuno si FPRRD sa drug trade, with him holding up bank statement na sinasabing pruweba raw na may kinikita si Duterte sa mga nangyayaring pagpatay.
Maraming salamat, Mr. Chairman. Ito pong dokumentong ito po yung naging basis ko nung plunder case na final ko kay Duterte noong 2016. At ito po ay inimbestigahan ng Ombudsman at ang Deputy Ombudsman Arthur Carandang, and I think the Quadcom can invite him. Siya ang nag-conduct ng investigation. Humingi siya ng dokumento sa AMLAC at kinonfirm niya. And because of that, tinanggal ni Duterte si Deputy Ombudsman. Now, ano rin yan, exempted sa impeachment cases, kaya pwede po lumabas yan, ipepresenta po yan. That's the smoking gun ng proceeds of the illegal drug trade ng Duterte crime family.
Now, inambahan pa nga ni FPRRD si FSA-PIV dahil nga, pinapakita ang alleged bank account daw niya, yung mga alleged bank statements ni na VP at FP Duterte along with their family. Ang sinasabi ni FSA-PIV na nagbibigay ang mga drug lords sa pamilya ni Duterte to disrupt their competitors' business by killing their drug mules o mga pusher tuwing October at April. Maybe even kind of like a racketeering protection thing na ginagawa ng mga gangsters. Wag mong re-raidin to or wag mong papatayin yung mga drug mules ko. And I'll give you a dividend of whatever I make. Kasi yun ang sinabi ni Trillanes.
Didibidendo yung drug lord doon sa pamilya nila Duterte tuwing October at April.
No, gusto namang kasuhan ni FPRRD si FSA-PIV sa mga sinasabi niyang pawang kasinungalingan daw. Gusto niya raw mag-file ng libel case against him para mapilitan talaga at magkaalaman na nga kung totoo nga ba yung mga sinasabi niya.
Yung kasinungalingan ni Trillanes gusto kong ikonsulta kasi I have to file libel cases against him. Patunayan niya sa korte kung puro kapalastugan na figures. Wrong spelling pa yung payhan ni Let, kulang an N, yung kay Paulo, kulang U.
Now, sinabi ni Duterte na nagsasabuat ng raw ang Malacanang at si Trillanes para sirain silang dalawa ni VP at FP Duterte.
Itong si Trillanes, talagang Malacanang sponsored yan. Hindi gagalaw yan ang kano yan, walang pera yan. Tataka ako bakit ang Malacanang na ginagawa naman na, wala naman kaming kasalanan sa kanila, hindi naman ako nag-atake kay Presidente. Pero alam ko na si Trillanes nagtrabaho kay President Marcos.
Alam mo, mahirap pumatol na sa ganyan. Hallucination na yan.
Ano po, sir?
Hallucination.
Matatandaan nating last week, Duterte refused to sign a bank account secrecy disclosure waiver thing na nagpapatunay or nagde-debunk sa mga pinagsasabi ng dating senador. Kasi again, biglaan na lang dumating si Trillanes at katabi ni Duterte, si Senator Laila de Lima. And it's kind of a weird thing kasi talagang nanggagaliitin ng naiinis na si Duterte kay de Lima at kay Trillanes. Gumanon pa siya. Tapos yung si Trillanes man, kinuha yung mic tapos babatuhin niya or something, parang nagkaalitan or something like that while they were seated. He tried to weasel out of the questioning saying na wala naman siyang magiging, wala naman siyang makukuha kung magsasign siya ng waiver. Kung anong makukuha niya, bakit ko bibigay sa'yo itong privacy ko, may bank account statement, so hindi naman ako elected official. At sinabi niya rin na kung walang makahanap, as the people said, kailangan daw pwede niyang sampalin si Trillanes sa harap ng taong bayan para makabawi. But, nothing really came out of it. The funny thing here is, kung tutuusin, Trillanes has been an enemy of the Marcoses and the Dutertes. More so the Dutertes, especially recently, lalo na nung panahon nila as senators. Now, Trillanes is a textbook dilawan with conservative at militant tendencies. Tandaan natin na siya ay isang veteran, professor din siya at naging senador aligned with the Liberal Party during its heyday with former President Benigno Aquino III, his father and his mother, and the entire Yellow Movement. He's a known anti-corruption figure in the Philippine politics but was antagonized by the Dutertes dahil sa pagbagsak ng establishment candidates noong 2016 sa paglakas ng populista at anti-status quo na sentiment at anti-niceties and decorum ni FPRRD. Kumbaga, nawala or napatalsik yung establishment candidates na silang Marrojas at lahat, or basically lahat ng Liberal Party, napatalsik silang lahat. But before we see this as an open and shut case dahil sinabi kong anti-Marcos si Trillanes dahil sa mga human rights abuses at embezzlement ito sa kanilang bayan or sa kaban ng bayan, let's not forget na as I said nung nakaraan, mas nagiging acceptable ang leadership ni President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. kasi wala masyadong kita sa media ng mga human rights abuses at saka yung mga katiwalian na we usually see on a daily basis in local government. Pero sa national government, we don't see it as more provocative at mas nakikita. Kumbaga, at the very least, tago ang korupsyon at embezzlement ng funds ng gobyerno because it doesn't really go away. Let's not forget na, as I said nung nakaraan, mas nagiging acceptable ang leadership ni President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. in terms of things that Trillanes cares about, which are mostly about human rights at decorum kung ikukumpara kay Duterte. It could also be all about the money. Kaya sabi ni Duterte, it could also be all about the money. Kaya sinabi ni Duterte na wala namang pera si Trillanes. Paano niya nilalaman to? Paano siya nagkakaroon ng mga investigation independently para sa mga ganitong bagay? Wala siyang pera. Sino nagpapondo sa kanya? Well, maybe. Talagang nagsasabuatan nga ang Malacanang at si Trillanes para pabagsakin ang mga Duterte. You can just watch my previous videos regarding sa pagbagsak ng tandem na unity ni Marcos at Duterte. But I must confess na yung constant blabbering ni Trillanes about these create a very bad impression sa mga voters at sa publiko. Like it or not, the people don't want a nagger. That's why they hate Skyler White more than Todd, a literal Nazi, or Walter, a meth synthesizer, or Gus, a drug empire kingpin something. If ang ipinapakita lang ng tao sa iyo ay negative about a particular person you like or even tolerate, kahit gaano pa kapangit ang ginawa ng tao na yun, mas maiinis yung tao sa taong nagsisiwalat kasi yun lang ang lagi nilang nakikita sa taong nagsisiwalat. Walang magandang balita, puro negative things. Especially since the people were bound in this unconventional contract with Duterte dahil Duterte did what he promised during the campaign. Patayin lahat ng drug pushers, patayin lahat ng nagbebenta, patayin lahat ng gumagawa. Pati mga user. They saw it every night sa TV Patrol, sa GMA7 sa 24 Oras, at sa marami pang iba. And the people did not bat an eye. Walang EDSA people power tree na nangyari. Kasi ginusto ng tao na pumatay si Duterte ng mga drug pushers, purveyors, at users. Kaya mahirap na kalabanin si Duterte dahil kahit nasa tama ka na, you're fighting for human rights. If the only thing that people see from you is pagdedemanda, pag-aakusa at pagsisiwalat na may even tiny bit of a condescension, sa iyo may inis ang tao at they will forgo everything na mga isiniwalat mo kasi naiinis sila. Kasi sasabihin nila, si Duterte may ginawang ganito, nagpagawa siya ng ganito. Kaya kahit na pumatay siya ng ilang libong drug pusher, suspects, anong nagawa mo? Sure, you purport human rights. You push for human rights. You push for human decency at rights ng mga akusado. Pero the thing is that people don't even see the accused, yung mga suspect, as innocent before being proven guilty. Talagang guilty na agad sila. At, they don't see or treat these people as human beings and more of a sickness in the system that needs to be cleansed, that needs to be eliminated and neutralized. Matagal na si Trillanes na nag-aakusa kay Duterte. He's consistent with his beliefs. Pero ang nakikita lang ng tao, kinigisa yung unlikely, likable figure of Duterte being accused of stuff ng mga kaalyado ng pinabagsak na administrasyon ng mga Aquino. At, the resentment of the sentiment laban sa tuwid na daan ni Aquino does not necessarily transfer. Lalo na kahit na sa mga decency, decorum, walang paki ang tao doon dahil they voted for Duterte, a populist candidate, vowing to remove everything from the status quo at mag-start from scratch for the people. And that's the sad thing. Kahit na nasa tama ka, kung nakikita lang ng tao sa'yo ay puro reklamo, they will choose the evil that has done some positive things rather than you doing every possible positive thing that could outweigh or theoretically could outweigh whatever some stuff that was made better by this fellow. Gaano mo isiwalat itong mga taong to? They just wouldn't give a fuck. Kasi ang nakikita lang nila sa'yo, paninira raw, pagdidemanda, pag-akusa, at pagsisiwalat. All things that would be treated as negative sa social zeitgeist.
Ang video clip na ito ay galing sa aking series na News Worthy Recap. Check the entire video for the complete weekly news recap and subscribe to the channel to be kept up to date sa mga local at global news na I'll make sure would be interesting to you particularly. Di ko alam yung name mo pero you should subscribe. Muhammad Smith? I don't fucking know. John Smith? Salamat sa manunod mga kabayan. Avoid me, like, subscribe, follow my links in socials and avoid shows that would be linked down below. Sa susunod muli, of course, paalam.